The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
What's cracking, everybody? This is WUV from the band P.O.D, all the way from San Diego, California, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'll let you boy.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have WUV. He's the drummer of P.O.D. P.O.D. has released their 10th studio album on Mascot Label Group entitled Circles, and it's out now. And folks, if you've not heard of P.O.D., then you're living under a rock somewhere, and you need to get out of it. So, WUV, how's it going, man?
Nice. Oh, everything's good, man. Everything's good.
Glad to have you on the show. I've been a big fan of you guys, man, ever since I heard Southtown, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow, I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. So we're talking like, what, 99 or so?
Yep. That was,
awesome.
That song for me, man, just struck a nerve. It was like, it's got groove to it. It's got soul to it. Sonny's singing with a conviction. It's good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, a lot of people, that's one of the top P.O.D. songs, you know what I mean? We pretty much play that every time we do a set, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from Boom or Rock the Party or Alive. Those are some of my favorite ones too, but yeah, great music
man.
From you guys over the years.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, we still enjoy playing those songs, you know, even after all these years, you know what I mean? And we had, you know, 2 or 3 independent records even before that record dropped. So, man, we got some songs out there for sure.
How's it been working with the Mascot Label Group? How's it been working with those guys since you guys tagged on with them?
We were just having this conversation with some like VIP guests earlier today. The Mascot Label Group's been great so far, you know what I mean? Like you said, this is our first record with them, but from what we can tell, you know what I mean? They're behind it. They're getting radio behind it. You know, every day we're showing up to cities and we're having interviews with different people that they're setting up, and you know, we're doing a lot of press in New York, which is a good sign. You know what I mean? We haven't really had that in a while, so it's good to be back. You know what I mean, on that playing field, and to see them, you know, spark up the machine it's been great. And you know, they've been showing us their support since the day we signed. You know, so it's a good sign. And
plus, Blackstone Cherry is signed on with the Mascot Label Group as well, so that's another big band for you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they got a nice little rock roster. You know what I mean? So we're happy to be part of the team, part of the family, and I know they got like a nice, strong representation in Europe as well. You know what I mean? So that meant a lot to us because we spent a lot of time, you know, internationally over the last, 26 years. So for them to have a nice presence over there, which will be going back to Europe all of February and all of March as well. So yeah, man, hopefully all the cylinders will be cracking and we'll be able to get the music out to as many people as we can, which would be great.
This is crazy for me to even say because I'm used to you guys putting out albums a lot, but this album, Circles, is the first album since 2015's The Awakening. Did you guys just want to take a break to recharge but still continue writing while on break? Or let's talk about that a little bit.
You know what? With that whole situation was kind of like a sore spot for us because the label that we were on the last time, like, they really didn't give that record any love, you know what I mean? And we put our heart and soul in that way like we do every record. You know, it was a concept record. It was our first ever concept record that we've ever done, so we were excited to put it out. But for some reason, like, that team wasn't really working for us, you know what I mean? And so it just kind of went downhill. And, you know, it wasn't that we were trying to, like, not put out a record. For us, it seemed like we just put a record out, you know what I mean? Because normally we put a record out and we're touring on it for a couple of years doing whatever. So pretty recent, right after we released that record, we started writing other songs. And we had some of the songs that made this record, Circles, that we recorded a while back with, like, a whole different set of producers, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we've been kind of been working towards this record for, you know, a couple of years now. It's just that we're always on the road, you know what I mean? We're a working band, so it's hard to, like, find the time in between, and, you know, we were able to do that, so there it is.
I know you guys work on these songs a lot, and you sit on these songs a lot, before you go into the recording studio. After setting on these songs a lot like that, do you kind of get burnt out on them? And then when somebody says, hey, this song means this to me, or I like this song, does that like spark the juices back into that album and those songs for you guys?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with this record, because this is the first time we kind of, went outside the box and started working with a different producing type of team. There's two guys, they're called the Heavy, and they're known for doing more of like poppy, like reggae type stuff. Like they work with the Dirty Heads and bands like that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sublime, those type of bands. So for us to take on that type of producing team was different for us. And they had a lot of input as far as like melodies and stuff like that, which was cool, you know what I mean? So when they heard the stuff that we had already came up with, and when they started putting their twist on it, yeah, it's exactly what you said. It made it breathed a little bit more life back into it, got a little bit more exciting, and, we tried to make them as best as we could, but not alter the sound too much that it wouldn't sound like P.O.D. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah, and that's if I'm not mistaken, that's Jason Bell and Jordan Miller, who
yes, exactly.
And they're more like hip hop people, correct? That's what I thought.
Yeah, they do a lot of pop stuff. You know what I mean? Pop reggae type stuff.
Yeah,
which is a different vein than us. But if everybody knows P.O.D., you know what I mean? We always have like that reggae type of element, or you know what I mean, the hip hop type element, like in our music, even from back in the day since '92. You know what I mean? So it was cool to work with them and do that.
That's what I like about your guys' music. You're all over the place. It's not just one spectrum. It's like all over. That's what I dig about you guys.
Yeah, man.
Any songs off this album, WUV, that stand out more to you on it than any as of right now, if possible? I mean, I know these change from every day, probably, but are they any for you?
One of the songs that I like the most was the song called Panic Attack, which is down the line P.O.D. style, but it's like the only song that like has like a reggae element. You know what I mean? Like that has a reggae element on a verse, which I really love a lot. I love the song called On the Radio, which is another good track that I like. Catchy hook, catchy riff, and just straight ahead like drumming. You know what I mean? Good lyrics. Fly Away is another big tune that I think is gonna be a single, which is a little off take of what P.O.D. usually is. Just a great song, you know what I mean? I'm excited for people to hear that.
I want to go back and talk about Jason Bell and Jordan Miller for just a little bit with you.
Yeah.
Those two guys, did they push you guys on this album, or did they just step in when they needed to?
I think, dude, the way those guys work is they're not really pushy. They just kind of like listen to your ideas, and then they have a lot of they do a lot of stuff like post-production stuff. Like they'll add like little hip-hop, like little drum sounds or like percussion sounds. They help out a lot with like vocal melody and hooks. Mm-hmm. I think that's like more their strength, you know what I mean? But they're really quick to listen, you know what I mean, first, and then they kind of jump in with their ideas, and they're like, hey, if you guys like it, let's move forward with this idea. If not, then you know what I mean, we'll think of something else. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, they're really cool to work with because they're good listeners, and they're young and they're cool and they got good ideas. You know what I mean? So it wasn't hard for us to like any of the suggestions they had because they're all good ideas, which is great.
What do you hope the fans take away from this new album, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just anything from P.O.D.? What do you hope that they get from it?
I mean, I think our band has pretty much been set forward by always wanting people to take away, you know what I mean, what our band's about, you know what I mean, whether it be the positive message, whether it be, faith, or, or even if it's just people just like the rock and roll of it, you know what I mean? We always want to try to create songs that create that type of vibe for you, you know what I mean? And it's important for us to share that, you know what I mean, with the world. And we love, seeing people all over the world listen to our music and sing along with the songs. And, it's just a blessing for us to see. So, hey, we just try to stay relevant, stay hustling for as long as we can do this, and we're grateful that we've been able to do it as long as we have. And I mean, that's all you can really ask for if you're in a band, you know what I mean? For people to listen to you and embrace you. And so, I'm excited for people to hear this record because it is, I feel, and so does the band, that it's, it's a great record. It's a record that we had to make at this time, for this time. There's a lot of good messages in there, and hopefully it inspires people and they just enjoy it.
And like you said, nowadays it's so hard for an old school band to still be around in the time that we're living in right now with music as it is today. And that's the truth. Right.
Absolutely, man.
And it speaks volumes that you guys are still around for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Shoot, we're still out here hustling, dude. We're still nonstop, which is great.
How much growth musically have you seen this band and plus yourself go through from album to album? Because, I mean, I'm sure you see your musical growth from each thing that you have done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to be like too deep and be like, oh man, we've grown so much. I just think, that when we write songs at the time that we're doing it, it's for that time. You know what I mean? There's probably, you know, a whole bunch of other songs that we wrote back in the day that probably would sound great even today. You know what I mean? It's just, maybe it just wasn't for that time. So I like to see when we put out new records, you know what I mean? Like what our band's thinking is more of a mentality than anything, how we're coming up with the music and how the music style is. More than musicianship is, I don't think that, you know, everybody's growing like, oh man, you just shred way more now than you did then. It's like, as a band, as a whole band, I think we grow, you know what I mean? Just in wisdom and vibing together, which is always good to see from record to record. So, yeah, man, I think that's the way we grow more than anything.
Does it seem it comes easier nowadays with the writing process that you guys go through than say, I don't know, a couple years ago maybe? Is it easier now, you think?
I don't think it's easier. I think it depends on like the time that we have. You know what I mean? Like this record, we were kind of like not under the gun, but so to speak. But they wanted a record pretty quick, and so it's when you're coming off a record that you just put out, they really didn't get the love that it wanted. It was hard. It was harder to dig in and get the inspiration. You know what I mean? Because at least the initial writing process was like, oh man, dude, we just finished that record and they're getting on love, and now we got to write another one. I think it was more of that mentality than just trying to like spark up the energy to start writing the songs. It was the hardest part, and then once we got over that hump, then it was like, oh, okay, the ball's rolling and we're just kind of moving along, and then it's like we just started getting momentum as the time went on.
So when you guys come into the recording studio to start writing and everything, do you do anything differently to help keep your mind fresh and open to, you know, not to get bored or not to get stale with your music? Do you like to do anything differently maybe?
Each record is pretty much the same, you know what I mean? Like Marcos comes up with like some guitar riffs and he kind of brings it to the table. We jump in the studio and the band just starts jamming, you know what I mean? And we start coming up with like other parts of the song. And then that's kind of like how our band, the style that our band is, and that's how we write, you know what I mean? And then when we get like a nice little skeleton down or whatever, you know, that's when the heavy came in and they listened to it and we're like, hey man, well, we're all ears, dude. Like if you guys got any ideas that you think might make the song better, by all means, that's what you guys are hired to do. Let's do this, you know what I mean? And then it starts taking on another creative process, you know what I mean, on its own. And that's the way this record went down. So, you know, it's cool to see. It was cool to see them bring the different ideas and to work with those guys about a different energy. And yeah, that's how we did this record, pretty much, you know, the same as we do all the rest.
I was very fortunate to get to see you guys live, but for the folks who have not got to see P.O.D. live as of yet, what are they going to get when they come and see you guys?
Oh, they're going to get the truth no matter what. I mean, we're definitely we're a raw band, you know what I mean? We don't play the tracks. We don't do anything like that. We keep it 100. And I think for us, the passion and the lyrics behind the song is mean something to the whole band. So you're definitely going to see passion. You're definitely going to feel flavor, you know, SoCal type of flavor, and a lot of energy, man, a lot of energy.
So we're living in the digital era right now of recording albums to get music out quicker, plus we got social media to reach out to more fans. Do you like this that we're in right now to get more fans to hear P.O.D.'s music?
Dude, it's like you got to grow with the times, you know what I mean? Even though the bands ain't getting paid like they used to by selling records and stuff like that, it's like this is just what the times that we're living in, you know what I mean? So you got to get in where you fit in. I think there's definitely advantages and disadvantages. You know, for us, we just kind of take the advantages where we can. You know what I mean? Get out there with the social media. You know what I mean? More people can see your music at the same time. You know what I mean? You're kind of giving it away for free, but that's just the time that we're in right now.
So, what made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, "Yeah, that's what I want to do right there"?
I think for everybody, it's different. In our band, I don't think we were all like, "Hey, that's what I'm going to do." I think it was just more of an evolving thing. Something that me and Marco started the band when we were in high school, and then each member started coming in. My cousin came in next, and then we got Trey after that, and it was kind of like one of the things where we were playing shows and we could see the crowds growing and we could see what our music was doing to people. And then at that time we started realizing, hey, this might be something a little bit more than just playing shows on the weekend. You know what I mean? Because it just felt that way. You know what I mean? And I think it just evolved to being like, hey, this is how it's going down. This is what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? And here we are, 27 years later.
It goes by quick, my friend.
It does. It does go by quick.
But you know what, though? And I'm sure you could attest to this. when you're first starting out and you're playing like little community centers and things like that, those shows, and I'm not knocking on anything that any band has ever done, especially national bands, but it seems like those shows are the ones that stick out the most, man. It's like, remember when we first started? Yeah, we played community center.
Oh yeah. I can remember a lot of those, man. A lot of
Oh, it's awesome. Is there a country that stands out or even shocks you that P.O.D. gets support from? Has there been a country that kind of stands out? Like, wow, I can't believe that P.O.D. is even over there right now.
Oh man, there's tons of them, dude. We're just as much an international band as we are a domestic band. You know what I mean? We're constantly overseas. Anywhere in South America is insane for P.O.D. The fans are rabid. They're crazy. They show up in thousands and thousands. Man, it's an amazing thing to see. It's inspiring for us to see. It's encouraging for us to see. You know, even in Asia, dude, and all over the Asias, whether it be the Philippines, Japan, anywhere over there, man, it's great. New Zealand, we just got back from Australia and New Zealand. All those shows were amazing. Russia, we've been to Russia 4 times already, and every time we play there, it's packed, sold out, freaking crowds, kids going nuts, knowing all the songs. So, you know, hey, there's a good bit of a love all around, man. And to tell you the truth, it all shocks us because, you know, we started in the garage, and you know, to be doing this for this long and around the world is all eye-opening for us, you know what I mean? But we count our blessings, and we take it day by day. That's what it is.
Still to this day, WUV, what's it mean to you guys when you receive an email or prior to the shows or after the shows, a fan tells you guys that P.O.D.'s music has gave them the inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's pulled them out of a dark hole, or it's just made them relax and get away from the everyday bullshit that we go through, and you know we do.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day, what's that mean to you guys?
I'm pretty confident I can speak for the whole band. And Sonny says this all the time. He's like, hey man, like pretty much after every show we hear some type of story like that. You know what I mean? And that just reiterates and backs up how we feel as a band and why we keep on going. You know what I mean? It really encourages us as a band to know that our music is going out there, that it's just more than music. You know what I mean? That there's a bigger meaning behind it. You know what I'm saying? And so that just inspires us. It encourages us, man, and it keeps us going, basically. You know what I mean? It's very encouraging for the band as well to hear that. Even though people are saying that is what we do for them, it's very encouraging to us too. It's vice versa. You know what I mean? Back and forth. So yeah, we love hearing that, and hopefully we can get more of that, like with this record. You know what I mean? Hopefully someone comes up, they hear this record, and they'll be like, hey man, they'll tell us some news stories just about this record. That'll be great, man.
And I have a special thing about Southtown. That's why it hits home with me the most, because my dad was sick and everybody knows that he passed away. But when you guys came onto the scene, it seemed like Southtown hit me the most just because of what I had went through with all that stuff.
Right.
It felt like Southtown was like a celebration song. You know what I mean? It's like...
Oh, there you go. There you go. Nice, man.
It's like I'm still here. I'm still... I'm still fighting. I'm still gonna live my life, and just
man, awesome.
So cool. Thank you guys for that.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Thanks for telling me, man.
So, folks, everybody, get out and pick up Circles. It's out right now on Mascot Label Group, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like I said before, P.O.D. is a tremendously awesome band. So, WUV, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise, tour dates, the whole 9 yards. How can they do that? Oh man, you can go to our band site, which is payableondeath.com, or you can hit us up on all the social media, which is just P.O.D. on Instagram, and it has all the links, you know what I mean, in the bio and all that stuff right there. It has merch links in the bio to all that kind of stuff. You know, social media is real easy to find everything now. So yeah, if you just hit us up on those two mediums, you'll be able to find out everything you know about P.O.D. when we're coming to town, you know, where we'll be touring, and all the latest and greatest. Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely. Let's do it. What's cracking, everybody? This is WUV from the band P.O.D., all the way from San Diego, California, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'll let you boy.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has all of our links there for our YouTube and our podcast site, and please get out and check out P.O.D. as well. Thank you so much, WUV, for being on the show. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you guys, and keep doing
Merry
what you're doing.
Christmas to you, man. Thank you, brother.